Welcome back, everybody, as we are getting set and ready for our second match of the night. This is going to be a 2v2 East Tier 5 matchup between Uncle Tito and Amateur Hour Cocktails. Now, if there were two teams based on the names that were more destined to play each other than Uncle Tito and Amateur Hour Cocktails, I'm not sure what it is. They've already said that they have a 2-drink minimum. I gotta ask them, were they drinking Tito's? And it's be only fitting based on how they are matched up here tonight for the first one. But we get a little bit of 2v2 action. Now, for the tier, again, tier 5 versus tier 3. So it's going to be a little bit slower gameplay, and I'm expecting maybe not quite as much mechanics, but with the 2v2, you have more opportunity for those solo plays. Now, we saw the flip resets, we saw the ground to air, we saw the double taps, we saw all of that coming from that last series, but in a 3v3 setting, you really don't have quite as much space to do so, especially with as fast as Graham was playing. They were all about that pace, going for those demos, going for those bumps, getting nice shots on point, and just ensuring there's no one there to pick up that save. For 2v2, the demo meta is definitely a real thing. You can play that for sure. You also have the ability to be, quote-unquote, more mechanical. You can see the 1v1s. You can also see the 2v2 and really the two-man game being able to get those passes, clear out that net, that first person go through, and being able to give that second person the opportunity for a better shot. And I'm super interested to see how these two teams play it out here in their first series, in their first match of LOS Champs Season 1. For the side of Uncle Tito, we have the Pedro and Toast with Jam. Own goal, best goal. So Pedro throws himself a what a save on this one. You know what? For the Pedro, we have to give him credit. Scuba Steve was definitely on point and had that shot, but unfortunately, that's the way the first goal of the series happens for Uncle Tito. As that one just pops on into him and down, and for the first goal for Amateur Hour Cocktails. For their side, Titch and Scuba Steve 7. Pedro getting this one up over the top, both he and Toast. Only two players down there. Titch rushing to get back, unable to get a shot on point with the defender there. That ankle was on point by Pedro. This Titch going to beat Toast with Jam to the ball. It's a 2v1 for the time being. Pedro just trying to slow it down, buy time for his teammate to get back. The pass goes off the back wall. Double commit from Uncle Tito, and it pinches out for him as Pedro going for the bump. Doesn't get the demo. Instead, gets demoed himself, but it was more than enough for Toast to be able to get this one on in. I don't think it would have mattered regardless. That demo happened either way. The net was open, the pinch working out in Uncle Tito's favor. They're tying this up at 1 apiece here in game number 1. Again, even though this is 2v2, still a best of 5 and still modified Swiss style format for these teams as the season goes along. As Scuba Steve gets a dunk on the first one, unable to get the next 50, picked up by Toast, gets another flick by one. Scuba there for the save, but look at the shot by the Pedro off of the wall, gets a little half volley here, beautiful timing, and sends it far side. Scuba Steve could get there for the save, and Uncle Tito technically have scored all 3 goals at this point, but only up 2-1. Toast dropping this one down, looking for a pass out mid, unable to get that touch. Just focusing on avoiding it, pinching all the way across as Pedro now gets this one off the back wall. Toast turning back, making sure he doesn't commit early, and just giving up a free goal. As Pedro pops it up over the top of one, trying to stay on. Oh my goodness, did he get that bump? What happened to his car? What happened to Scuba Steve's car? I think the Pedro, he did. He caught him on the way down, wasn't going for additional touch, got the bump, and just Goomba the ever-living crap out of Scuba Steve popping up the nose of his car. Didn't even give him a chance to jump for that and get that save. As now Titch gets this one right in front of the net. And Scuba Steve able to finish that one off his Titch. Nice little touch there. Gets it over the top of one. Not sure if Toast or Titch got that next touch right in front of the net, but regardless, Titch doing more than enough to allow Scuba Steve to be able to come in and secure that goal. Bring Amateur Hour Cocktails back within one. Toast sending that one over to Pedro. Now quickly going up for the double tap opportunity. He gets 50 by Scuba, who picks up the next 50 towards net, or towards mid, as well as Titch just fires this one towards net. It's a little high. Pedro able to pick it up, gets it around the corner over the first one. Boost is there for him. Toast is going for the bump as Pedro tries to get it by, but it just doesn't work, and that leads to the open net opportunity for Amateur Hour Cocktails, as Titch doing a fantastic job not only avoiding the bump but also picking up that save. And Scuba Steve, we talked about it in the first series, I will live and die on the hill that the open net is the most difficult goal in Rocket League, bar none, but able to convert on that one. Toast picking this one up, going for a quick touch over the top of Titch. That fast challenge, able to keep it towards mid. Pedro picking up, throwing it to the back wall. That one's going to go well high. Looking for the bump on Scuba. As Amateur Hour Cocktails, they're starting to recognize and avoid those bumps and those demos much sooner now. It's a double-edged sword, especially in 2v2. As Pedro gets it over the top of the first one, can't get it over the second. It's Toast. Now pop it all the way across. Pedro on that back, or on that sidewall, comes around to the back wall now. Does have boost to work with, gets a little bit of a ground pace, but it throws his car into an awkward position. Couldn't follow it up, just decides to go get the corner as a shot coming out. Toast clearing down. It's a dangerous touch by Scuba. Allows the setup by Toast. Goes for the bump. Unable to get it. The shot goes high by Pedro. And Scuba, Titch continue to hang on this defensive side. So many saves at this point on some great shots. 12 shots. Make it 13 coming out now by Uncle Tito. Is Pedro able to get this one just before Titch could get there? Puts it center net. And now a 4-3 lead for Uncle Tito here in game number 1. That one sent all the way down. Pedro able to secure it for the time being. Sends it into the corner. A quick touch back around, but look how quickly Pedro gets on top of the ball. And Uncle Tito just playing a little bit faster than Amateur Hour Cocktails. I think Amateur Hour for the time being is playing for that opportunity, for that one mistake by Uncle Tito to be a little bit too aggressive, being able to clear things out, being able to just walk it on in. Is this one going to waterfall right in front? And on cue, Scuba Steve taking advantage of it. The 150 they were waiting on, the 150 they need. It pops just a little high on Toast, and Scuba Steve has the momentum, has the opportunity to get on top of it. With 11 seconds left, why would you not dive on it? Gets on top of it, drops it on in, and ties us up for all. Oh my goodness, 3 cars collided there, and Toast with jam says, oh, okay. Scuba Steve and Titch run into each other, which also bumps out Pedro, and Toast is like, well, if all 3 of you just want to have a little dance there in the corner, we'll just go ahead and pop this one on in. Finds a nice angle. Now the clock has expired. Uncle Tito just trying to clear, or trying to drop this one down, trying to clear it to the side, and they will be able to pick up the first win there. And just I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little confused to what happened in the final minute of that game. Uncle Tito able to go up one. Amateur Hour, again, they're sitting and waiting for that one mistake to come through. You know, be it go for a bump or a demo, and again, we saw it. Titch able to avoid it, and Scuber able to just walk it on in. Amateur Hour getting that goal. We saw the Pedro with an own goal, trying to defend it, knocking that one in. So there are a couple of mistakes that Uncle Tito was giving up, and Amateur Hour, Scuber Steve, a huge 50. You can't really call that one too much of a mistake. If anything, maybe the second person should have been a little bit closer to net since they didn't have full possession. The challenge was coming, but you know, wasn't really a mistake. Amateur Hour Cocktails able to find it, and then the team bump in the corner. I don't know if it was a miscommunication. I don't know if it was going for the boost. Not quite sure what was going on there, but the unfortunate team bump and just allows the Pedro to find, or sorry, just allows Toast to find the angle from that corner to just slide it on in with just a couple seconds left after it looked like we were almost assuredly heading into overtime. All right, just messaging the teams. They are apparently waiting on us here in production, but they are all free to join up after each game. Just the first one to make sure that we are all clear. But now we're heading into game number 2. Again, Uncle Tito taking that first one here in this best of 5. And a team bump happening. The net is open. Titch with a high pop, and that allowed Pedro to get back in time. And that one, you have to believe that Amateur Hour Cocktails wants back for sure. Pedro sending this one to the sidewall, able to get the next 50. Boost does spawn right underneath him. Is Toast going to turn around? Pedro on a headhunt, decides to just turn off. That's Pedro now popping it around to mid. Toast sitting and waiting, deciding to just head on back. And now you see, that's the second time from Uncle Tito where they have feigned a bump. Well, wow, that did not feign that one. That was full-on headhunt. I'm going to eliminate you here in the corner. But the second time that Uncle Tito has feigned the bump towards the player in the net, and they got a couple of bumps, they got a couple of demos, and it worked out for him in game number 1. You see the mind games that they're playing now to just try and get Amateur Hour Cocktails off of their spot and see if they can get a free goal without committing themselves too far, because they did get burnt on it as well as Toast with jam. Oh my goodness. Look at this little pop. How does he get so much of a float on it? As Titch, I don't think he can believe that it went so high and yet not that much velocity on it. It finds its way over the top and in, and Uncle Tito get goal number 1 here in this game. Titch. Oh, Toast with jam is just bigger and faster on that sidewall. Trying to get back to this touch, and Toast. Oh, the backflip. Is he the backflip initially? Titch trying to pop that one high. And Toast with jam just getting there. Being able to send it on into the net, and now up 2-0. Go for the dunk as Pedro. Oh, that would have been dirty as well. Just continuing to pile it on here in this game. The Scuber picking it up on the sidewall. Pedro rushing down. Does have a little bit of boost to work with. Able to get it towards mid. The nice touch will at least send it to the far side. But look at all the boost that's being stolen. Titch, what a desperation and much needed clear, as they didn't have a ton of boost in the tank, but with all the cameras in the sky, no one could see that Scuber Steve was on top of this ball. Toast with jam trying to get on it, and it just pinches off of his face on into the net. And that is a 2-1 lead now for Uncle Tito. Pedro Not a ton of boost to work with, just decides to go for a bump instead. Bumps himself out, but a couple of misses in front of the net by Amateur Hour Cocktails. Goes with Jam, deciding not to buy in on it. Just play back, sit, and wait. Now a shot by Tidge. Almost gets a bump on Pedro. Would have allowed an easy open net touch by Scuba. Cleared all the way on down. Toast slowing things down, trying to pick up that corner boost. Pedro, again, sitting and waiting. You can see the different style of play now from Uncle Tito. Trying to make sure that they don't be too aggressive. They're demoing, they're bumping when the opportunity arises. But beyond that, they're not diving on as many attacks. They're not diving on the demos. And they're getting benefit from it as the long goal there with Toast to be able to pick up the hat trick. And now up 3-1 as the double commit almost works out. They both get it over the top of Tidge, but Scuba is there to clean it on down. Yes, Tier 5 is 1250 to 1399, which 1250 is C22 and 1399 is C34. So mid C2 to high C3. Ditch. Turning around on it into the corner. Let to get it by Toast. Just clears this one on down and coming up with 60 seconds left to go. These long clears, these high flying balls working out in Uncle Tito's favor. Hey, look at that. There are the rank tiers, and I promise he totally didn't just do that as people are asking. That's totally been there forever. Oh, the shot! Toast! Nice save to be able to get that one out as the shot, the angle was there. And gets the flick over the top. Go for the dunk as well. Toast trying to do it from coast to coast. Was turned away. Final 30 seconds. Amateur Hour Cocktails. Is giving up another goal, but they cannot allow that to happen. Need to get something very soon and give themselves a realistic opportunity to be able to tie this one up and send it into overtime. Oh, what a pass. Titch able to cut it off for the time being. Picks up his own corner. Boost gets a pass out towards mid to Scuba Steve. And Pedro is already on top of it. Toast misses and Titch was playing the touch. It goes on by. The shot goes wide. And Amateur Hour Cocktails don't get the opportunity. Uncle Tito takes game number 2 to go up 2-0 in the series. And you look at the offense, just a much higher clip, a much higher opportunity for Uncle Tito. Those 8 shots to 3. 4 of them were saved by Amateur Hour. The defense, it's tough. It's standing tall, but just giving up too many shots for the low amount that they're able to get. And they were accurate. All 3 shots are accounted for, but just too much defense. And we saw the switch up there from Uncle Tito in game number 1. They were hyper aggressive. They were diving on every single touch. They were going for those bumps. They were going for those demos, especially when the ball was moving up slowly down the pitch. There in the start of game number 2, we saw a little bit of a switch in their mind. They were feigning those attacks. They were driving towards it and then quickly turning around and going back on defense and not allowing that free, easier goal back to Amateur Hour Cocktails, and kept them to just 3 total shots. It worked out very well for them, and I'm interested to see if they continue that here in game number 3. If so, Amateur Hour Cocktails just need to be a little bit, I don't want to say passive, but more deliberate in their touches. If you have the second player bailing out on you on defense, you can't just do a little dump and chase. You can't boom it down. Oh, what a save by Scuba Steve. You have to be able to control it, to keep it nice and close to you, to be able to keep the tag go. He gets the Pedro. I thought Casper has just been an unkind post tonight. This one, Scuba Steve unable to get it. Looks like he doesn't have any boost to his name. And Casper just denying shot after shot. sends that one wide, but Pedro, good read, able to stay on top of it, and does give Uncle Tito their first goal of game number 3. Pitch. A little bit too heavy-handed of a touch. Did secure the boost. Nice catch there by Scuba Steve, trying to hook it around. Does get the flick, but not the hook, as that one goes off the back while Titch rushing back. The snapshot by Toast was on point, slowing things down a little bit, and this is what I'm talking about. I like this play by Amateur Hour Cocktails. They are being much more deliberate, much slower with their play and what they are doing. Flicking over one, gets a 50 on the other, works out in their favor. Shot nicely done, waiting patiently for the defender to fly on by before sending it top shelf. Amateur Hour Cocktails tying us up at 1 apiece. Scuba winning that 50, not able to secure the boost, so Toast did pick up that one, and that could have been dangerous if he didn't, as the attack was on by Amateur Hour Cocktails very easily. Could have strangled out all the boosts or just getting a quick shot before anyone is able to get back. It's Pedro. Has some aggro, gonna be eliminated from behind. Titch with a clean first pop, but Toast still able to get to a Scuba. Is up, nicely done to at least send it high and wide. Don't just hand it down to Pedro, as both players are on the attack here for Amateur Hour Cocktails. Toast, he gets it over the top of one. Titch not able to get the touch, and that will be a goal. Toast with jam, taking advantage of the misplay there by Titch, trying to catch it, send it down into his own corner. Unfortunately, not able to make any connection with it, and zero hesitation from Toast. Sends it center net. Gives Uncle Tito a 2-1 lead. Pedro avoiding a bump. Will rotate back as Titch trying to get that one by Toast with jam. Both players just tactically whiffing. Titch securing his own corner boost, sitting and waiting patiently as Toast with the 50 tries to get there before Pedro, unable to do so. The demo by Scuba Steve stops the first shot. Pedro's shot goes wide, but does pick up the boost, and look at the boost meters. 50 for Titch, 0 for Scuba, and Titch is still able to get there and get the angled Titch. What a play, an aggressive play at that. There was 0 boost in the tank for Scuba. Both Toast and Pedro with 100 after securing the corner boost, and I gotta believe that they knew how much boost Amateur Hour Cocktails didn't have and felt like they could have been aggressive. But the aggressive pass and transition play coming out from Amateur Hour Cocktails, and then the beautiful finish by Titch ties us up at 2. Pedro picking this up on the corner, gets the first touch, realizes that no one's coming to challenge, just plays for the 50, and winning that incredibly well. The shot by Toast goes high, goes for the double, unable to get it. 50 goes out in Amateur Hour Cocktails' favor. Scuba gets the first touch. He's already found this angle once. Toast has to dive on it. Does pick up the save. Titch a little bit too far to be able to pick that one up. I think he was trying to secure the boost and get the ball, and a little bit too greedy for that. Ends up expending nearly 80 of that boost, just keeping it away from Uncle Tito. Scuba Steve, that shot is going to be a little bit thin. Toast does get back in time anyway. The demo comes through. The quick shot with Toast. Oh my goodness. What a play. What seemingly slow play. Nothing going on. Just going to go ahead and catch this in the corner. Pick up the corner. Try to make something happen. And Scuba just comes flying from the depths. Damn you, Scuba Steve. Being able to get that demo and shot on point immediately. Well done by Uncle Tito. Going up 3-2. Toast Setting up the double. Oh, the Pedro going up as well. There are 3 cards on this back wall. This is an opportunity for Amateur Hour Cocktails. Titch has the open. Sends it wide. Was in a battle with Toast with Jam. Oh, what a play by Pedro to get it by the first. Save does come through by Scuba. Pitch now. Sitting and waiting, Toast with Jam. Pops it over the top, does secure that mid boost, gets a huge 50. Scuba Steve goes up high for it. Look at how quickly Pedro is on top of the ball. A hard touch will put Toast with Jam in an awkward position. Titch had to keep that one a little bit higher to get it up over the top, but without any more boost in the tank. Just couldn't quite get it. The open net the other way. Toast pancakes it there. Pedro trying to get it out. Scuba does keep it out, but it wasn't enough anyway. Uncle Tito, the ball drops and they pick up the 3-2 victory and the 3-0 sweep here for the first week. The 2v2 East Tier 5 play. Congratulations to them, and again, doing it with so much offense, being able to have those 10 shots, and really, it looked rather unassuming. It just looked like they weren't doing anything, and then picked that one time to just beat everyone to the ball or get that demo and fire it on point immediately, almost lulling their opposition to sleep. And as soon as they found that one opening, as soon as they found that one opportunity, being able to get that in. But huge props to Amateur Hour Cocktails. Again, this is going to look like a 3-0. Just look at the game. A 3-0 clean sweep, but they kept every game incredibly close. And this was a much closer series than what the score line, at least for the games, did look like. And as I am talking, we do have, from the victorious Uncle Tito, the Pedro joining here with us in the booth again. Congratulations on the victory, the Pedro. Week number 1 coming out 1-0 with a clean sweep. How does it feel?
It's pretty good, starting off on the right foot.
Now, you guys, it looked like you adjusted your play a little bit after game 1. Game 1, it looked like you were hyper aggressive. You're going for those bumps. You're going for those physical plays, diving on the attacks. Games 2 and 3, it looked like you tried to temper that a little bit, play a little bit further back, kind of feign those attacks, and then play back as a second man and give yourselves better opportunities. Was that something you guys talked about and planned, or is that just how you felt the game was playing through?
It wasn't a conscious decision. It was our second game on, so we were still getting settled in. In game 1, there was a lot of whiffs that led to more bumps, I think.
Yeah, in game 1, we're going back to it. It was kind of a roller coaster of emotions there at the end of the game. Being able to go up 1 and then the game get tied, and then there are 3 bumps that happen in a corner, and being able to get that goal with just 2 seconds left on the clock. It was, when you're saying there's only a couple of games, was that something you guys were talking about in between games? Like, okay, we kind of got away with that. We need to settle down and be able to come up with a game plan, or was just, listen, it worked, let's just go?
Yeah, we were just hanging out, having a good time. Uncle Tito was guiding us to our victory today.
Yeah, that's definitely something, the fact that if there were any 2 teams that were more destined to play each other than in week 1, Amateur Hour Cocktails and Uncle Tito, I gotta ask, they were already saying a 2-drink minimum. Were you guys there in the same boat with Uncle Tito?
I can't speak for my teammate, but I was there. We were right in that line.
Awesome. Well, hey, you guys were able to pull it out. It looked fantastic out there. You guys picking up the physical plays, getting the bumps, getting the demos, and walk away with a 3-0 sweep. Again, congratulations on that. But before you go, man, the floor is yours. Any shout-outs you want to give, anything you want to say before you head?
Shout out Toast. He's a homie of mine. He doesn't ever talk to me anymore, but we play Rocket League sometimes. And then shout out to my dad. I think he might be watching. Yeah, thanks to you guys for hosting, and hopefully the season goes well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, hey, we appreciate it. Season going well for you so far here, starting out 1-0. Appreciate the time. Stop it on in here and give us a little insight. Looking forward to seeing you in the rest of the circuit.
Thank you.
Again, that was the Pedro on the victorious side of Uncle Tito, being able to start 1-0, picking up the clean sweep over Amateur Hour Cocktails. But again, those matches were very, very close, and would not surprise me to see these two teams continue to progress and meet in the playoffs. It would be an absolutely exciting match. We are not done for the night, however. We're going to have a quick intermission here while we get things set up and ready to go. We still have one more match left. That match is slated to kick off at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it looks like about 20 minutes or so before we get the teams get on back. Feel free, go grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, but be sure to be on back as we have more LOS Champs Season 1 Rocket League action to come.